Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you very much. We have an amazing show this evening. To my super chat, thank you so very much. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some people. So everyone who supports me, whether it's the super chat or the Patreon, I thank you very, very much. I don't have political action committees that funnel money, hundreds of thousands of dollars from one PAC to another. Gee, like some people. Are there some people out there that do that? Maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric, Luke, everyone here, I want to read you something before we get to President Trump. God bless President Trump. Thank God he's okay. Thank God he's been discharged. And you know what? I'm glad that he was in his car waving at well-wishers and people who were praying for him and people who support and admire him and who were there out of a show of support and admiration and caring. Like, what is wrong with what he did? I swear to God, there's nothing this man can do without outrage from the left or Democrats. There's nothing that they can do. And the funny thing is, on every single topic from immigration to foreign policy, President Obama's administration was more cruel, was more insidious, more vile, according to the standards of liberals today. I can't even get into the scandals and controversies that were swept under the rug. It is literally against YouTube policies. The Senate report, go look up the Senate report regarding what President Obama's administration allowed with migrants, the children of migrants. Why don't you look up the Senate report and tell me if that's if that's going to go against YouTube guidelines? Of course it will. I can't even discuss the cruelty. I mean, this is if you want to start using the words cruelty and words like nefarious and insidious and all of these words pertaining to Trump's policies. Go look up what's taking place in Libya. Human beings being bought and sold. Ask yourself why President Obama drank Flint water while it was still poisonous, saying it wasn't. Ask yourself why Biden helped craft a 100-to-1 sentencing disparity where 100 people of color to one person who wasn't a person of color get charged for the same narcotic, essentially the same narcotic. The structural injustices that everyone is protesting about, Biden was part of creating these structural injustices, and you have President Trump who literally signed legislation to reverse the damage. They use this word damage. The damage, danger. They're so like hysterical and hyperbolic with Trump, but look, they don't look at their own. Their own record is atrocious. But that's okay. I was from the left. That's why if I ever debated anyone pertaining to President Trump, I know their dirty laundry. I know all the statistics that they can't defend. I know all the stories that they can't defend. I know all the horrible things the Democrats have done to their own constituents that they can't defend. Sigma Nu! New classified information from Director of National Intelligence Ratcliffe to Senator Graham. Prove the creation. That's right. He's scandal with more to come. Exactly. Sigma Nu UCLA. Sigma Nu UCLA. Exactly. Ain't no future in your front. That's right. Dash Mendez, hello. This is the Ain't No Future in Your Front in election. You watch, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Secretary, that dorsal fin is not flipper. You watch. She will replace Biden, and if they don't, it's not even, they don't even get close enough to cheat in my view. But Biden has zero support. Sigma Nu UCLA. One of the few Bruins that I really like. Sigma Nu UCLA. Thank you. So I'm surrounded by Bruins, actually. But I want to read you this. While they disparage and try to mock and denigrate President Trump, And to my by the way, to my new Patreons, thank you, Cleopatra. Thank you so very, very much. Everyone to the new Patreons, thank you. Rain, hail lawsuits, and the pandemic fail to halt Wisconsin election. You mean to tell me that that being at a Trump rally is more dangerous than this? Listen to this. And this was before a mask mandate, because there's a picture here with some people not wearing masks, some people wearing. So this was before a mask mandate. They showed up wearing homemade face masks and plastic garbage bags. They waited in lines for nearly 2 hours. They endured rain and pummeling hailstorm. This is what the Democrats do. During the pandemic, before the curve was flattened, listen to this very clearly. This is a Politico article by 3 journalists at Politico. Rain, hail, lawsuits, and the pandemic crisis fail to halt Wisconsin election. Why did it fail to halt the Wisconsin election? Because Democrats think a Trump rally, where people are comfortable, and is actually more dangerous than getting pummeled by a hailstorm and enduring a rain and pummeling hail for 2 hours. For 2 hours in line. Okay, so this is their version, and we're not even getting to the protests yet. D-Lynn, hello. We're not even getting to the protests yet. Zach, thank you. We haven't even gotten, ladies and gentlemen, to the protests yet. We haven't even gotten. You can go and find videos from Ian Miles Chong, Tim Pool, of a whole lot of protests where people are packed together, not wearing masks or protective gear. But the thing is, they're duplicitous, and they focus only on what they want to focus on, and they obsess, and they're apoplectic, and they're hysterical, and ranting, and raving, and outraged only at what they pick, and they're hypocrites. They're hypocrites, but I want to read you this. This is really interesting. This is the Democratic Party, how they deal with the pandemic when it comes to what they want. So if it's their primary, you better believe, ladies and gentlemen, they're not going to stop at anything to kick Bernie to the curb. You better believe they're not going to stop at anything. Voters here on Tuesday braved the most grueling conditions. Listen to this. And this is important. I mean, here's the Politico article. Take screenshots, do whatever you need to do, because this is an important article. Rain, hail, lawsuits, and the pandemic crisis failed to halt Wisconsin election. This is in April, the Wisconsin primary. They endured rain and pummeling hailstorm. So please, CNN, spare us the lecture of what Trump, how irresponsible Trump voters are and Trump is. And look at yourselves for a second, because you take the cake. There's a reason why 7 out of the top 10 states with the highest fatality rate are Democrats, and 7 out of the top 10 states with the greatest number of lives lost are Democrats from this pandemic. Go look at the New York Times, and then they have the audacity. To keep on harping and preaching and giving us the sermons. They are going to lose on November 3rd. If they're so inept, because I'm expecting, and my prediction stands, that Clinton will eventually replace Botox B, the exhumed body. But if they're so inept, he's pretty much, they have convinced themselves yet again that Trump is on the ropes, yet again that they're going to win. And I've been telling you, you can even look at their own faulty polls. The enthusiasm gap is real, very genuine and legitimate, and it should be of concern to Democrats. Biden has 0 support. 0. Then the enthusiasm gap among Black and Latino voters and Hispanic and Latino and Black and African American voters, you cannot win as a Democrat without immense support among those two key demographics, the two largest non-white demographics. Latino and Hispanic being the largest of those demographics. Trump is doing better. Biden is doing worse than Clinton. Clinton did much worse than President Obama. And I've been reading some articles saying, oh yeah, Biden is expecting Obama-level turnout. This is in their dreams, which is going to turn into a nightmare on November 3rd. Voters here on Tuesday braved the most grueling conditions. So, Trump rally or grueling conditions with some fearing they were risking their lives. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm taking screenshots. I am taking screenshots. And you should as well of this article. Rain, hail, and lawsuits. Here, rain, hail, lawsuits. Politico. I am taking screenshots of this article. This, ladies and gentlemen, I just took a screenshot right now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the many articles that document the cruelty, the disregard for science, the absolute laser focus on politics, and putting on the back burner the lives and the health of others. This is telling you, this is Politico telling you, they are telling you. This is an important segment. This is an important article. Voters here on Tuesday, this is April of 2020, I believe this was before the curve was flattened. I believe also there was no face mask mandate, no protective covering mandate, and you had people waiting in long lines, and you can't always social distance when you have tens of thousands of people in lines, or even hundreds of people in lines. It doesn't always work that way. You're always going to get some people who are closer to one another than they'd like. Walter G! Walter G, thank you so very, very, very much. Walter G, thank you. Walter, thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Please be here. Please be here. November, Walter, we're going to have the most euphoric, amazing, I told you so moment in the history of politics. When it's Clinton, it'll be closer than people realize. But if they're so inept and they go with Biden, they're in for a world of disappointment. 2016 is going to look like a fairy tale, fantastic, happy ending. No PhD Coyote, hello. Walter, thank you so very much, Walter. Please be here in November, and thank you so very, very, very much, Walter G. Greatly appreciated, and thank you for your generosity, Walter. Voters here, this is, check this out. I have to take another screenshot. Amid a pandemic so dangerous that this week the United States Surgeon General urged people to stay home, Wisconsin voters went to the Democratic Party polls after the Republican-controlled legislature and conservative-led state Supreme Court overturned a move to delay it. Excuse me. Democrats didn't need to continue with that primary. They could have delayed the primary. The moves to delay it had to do with a whole lot of other requests that Democrats had. Excuse me. They could have delayed that. The Republican-led Supreme Court didn't force them to have the primary. But this is, as the Surgeon General urged people to stay home, Wisconsin voters went to the Democratic primary polls. I'm taking another screenshot. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, when it's Democrats, they can do no wrong, but yet they do a lot more wrong because they have, see, the damage, the hypocrisy, the the dangerous policies, they get away with it because they have media sweeping everything under the rug. But that's okay. You have me. So I used to be a lifelong Democrat. And now I'm looking at them from the outside looking in. I'm looking at them from the perspective of, okay, this is what, so now I can see like their outrage and their apoplectic, hysterical reaction to things is really a cover for just legitimizing or justifying their political stunts. They didn't have to have the Wisconsin primary. They needed to have the Wisconsin primary to kick Bernie Sanders to the curb. This, and the day after, or 2 days after, he then dropped out. Walter, thank you again. Greatly appreciated, Walter G. He dropped out, ladies and gentlemen, after Wisconsin. This is so important. This is so important. And if I ever was on CNN again, I've been on CNN twice, I've been on MSNBC twice. And so most of the times were because I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. But if I was ever on a CNN, I would let them know. I'd read this. I would read, quote, amid a pandemic so dangerous that the Surgeon General urged people to stay home. So, how many people fell ill? How many people in Wisconsin? And I'm not even getting to Illinois, Florida, and Arizona. I'm not even getting to Illinois, Florida, and Arizona. And then I don't understand also, you have these states like Arizona or Texas, and then like you have people from California moving to red states, like turning them blue. It's like, well, why didn't you stay in California? Oh, these people are hypocrites. They're like, well, we're moving to red states because life is better there, but we're going to keep all of our misguided beliefs on things, or we're going to keep all our I don't know. We're going to keep our allegiance to the Democratic Party. Well, you have them. The mecca of the Democratic Party is New York and California. So I don't get that, but whatever. That's the usual, the typical Democratic Party thing. Walter, thank you again, Walter. Rusty Islander. Trump does more from a hospital. Exactly. He had a lid today in his campaign. I don't think that Botox B, the exhumed body, is even running, really. I mean, is he? What's he doing? Exactly, Joshua, exactly. Rusty Highlander, thank you so very, very much. Walter, thank you again. But you have an admission within this article that people were fearing that they were risking their lives, yet the Democratic Party continued. And when they say they are taking people's temperatures, by the way, at these rallies, at these events. And, you know, I want to know, when is life going to return to normal? I would like Democrats to give me a time frame. Because there are tragedies, horrendous tragedies still. I mean, there was, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to get into the specifics, 2 children whose lives were taken in Southern California just the other day from a woman who was driving drunk and plowed into the 2 children in front of their families, in front of their parents, and the parents saved the 2 other children they had. You take a risk every time you puff a cigar. Every time you smoke a cigarette, every time you go to a bar, every time you eat fast food. In California, you have these signs everywhere. This is according to Proposition. This is this building is made of material that can cause illness. It's like, well, what are you going to do? You have to be in the building. You have to do your thing, or you have to. And it's like you can't. You're taking risks every single day of your life. You take risks every single day of your life. And Democrats, what they've done is they have not only politicized. This is like some kind of bizarre existential issue that they have with this. They're like, well, you have to shut down everything. This is for your protection. You know how many people would trade? Like, the majority of people would trade being positive as opposed to losing their livelihood. Belinda 007. Belinda, thank you. Thank you, Belinda 007. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you. If you had a choice between right now losing your livelihood, not being able to feed your family, not being able to pay for medication, pay for clothing, or testing positive, and you don't have any pre-existing conditions, or you're okay, or how would you react? I don't know. I can't assume, I guess. I'm trying to look at this thing. My Raiders didn't win today. It's okay. They'll rebound. What Democrats have done, they think that the pandemic is like, any talk about is bad for Trump. I mean, there's this really bizarre viewpoint, and I've heard this. I heard it even today. Somebody's like, well, any talk about the pandemic is really bad for Trump. Really? Why? Well, his handling. His handling. What did he did he handle it in his hand? What did he handle? Well, his handling, there's things he could have done. Well, and this is another issue. Anything that Trump does, the visceral, automatic reaction by Democrats is advocate the opposite. Braden! Any chance we can see an HA and Sticks chat live? I would love that. Thoughts and opinions soon before the election? Probably not before the election, but I'm going to reach out to Sticks. We've had two, one on my channel, one on his channel. Braden, I'm going to reach out to Sticks, and I would like to do one on his channel after the election. That would be fantastic. Braden Spartan, thank you. Braden, Sticks and Tim Pool should be a staple of everyone's day. Braden, thank you so very much. I mean, there's so many great Sticks, Tim Pool, Kevin's Corner, Anthony Bryan Logan, Brandon Tatum, Black Conservative Patriot. I mean, there's so many awesome ones. Steven Crowder, Mark Dice. There's so many fantastic channels. Braden, thank you so very much, Braden. Thank you. Thank you, Braden. CB! What are you drinking, H.A. Polk City? Polk City, Florida. I am drinking this is like a organic, I know people are going to say, oh yeah, right. It's supposed to be like an organic energy drink made of tea, or derived not from any coffee or anything. It's made of tea. I know it sounds funny that like, it almost sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not making it up. And then I put some lemonade in it. So, CB! CB3, I think it's CB3. Thank you, CB3. Thank you. Yeah, just it's like an energy drink. CB3, thank you. Braden, thank you. Hodge twins are amazing. They're awesome. That's awesome. It's seaweed juice. So legal challenges began brewing. Okay, so this is the thing. So many people across Wisconsin face the impossible choice of casting their ballots and protecting themselves and their families. What? That's not an impossible choice. Look, I love President Trump. If I thought that I would lose my life, I wouldn't vote. I'd sit it out. So it's not an impossible. This is the see. Look at the mentality. This is from the Wisconsin Democratic Party chair. That's a choice that no one should have to make. You should have postponed the Wisconsin primary. And they say, well, we couldn't have because there were elections for judges. So the current judges, the incumbents, would just have to stay there longer now, wouldn't they? Jericho Green is amazing. Jericho Green is amazing. Yes. I was watching Jericho Green when he had like 20,000 or 15,000 subs. Jericho Green is amazing. But yeah, I mean, Sigma Nu and Walter G and everybody here, this is one of the articles. So all you hear now is people on CNN, everybody, well, Trump didn't play by the rules. He didn't protect himself, and that's why he's suffering now. Well, he's not suffering, actually. Thank God. Thank God he's going to be all right. And then they're like, oh, well, this hurts him. No, this helps him. Oh, he's just trying to pretend. And he wants sympathy. He wants sympathy. He wants empathy. Now he was so cruel and lacked empathy. What is the whole thing now? He lacked empathy for others. He didn't lack empathy, first of all, for anyone. The Democratic Party never quotes him. The man is never quoted correctly. The man is never quoted, period. They don't ever, he recites these speeches. They're lofty. They're just the same type of speech as any other president. And none of the flowery or poetic or prosaic verses or portions of the speech. Oh, sorry, not prosaic. None of the lofty or beautiful or, poetic phrases or sentiments within his speeches. They're never even touched upon. They're never even touched upon. None of the inspiring things Trump says is ever touched upon. Paul Bartlett, hello, Paul. So it's like, and this is the thing, like, this is the tiny microscopic level, ladies and gentlemen. Most people don't know who I am, and that's fantastic. I totally enjoy that. I enjoy just, living life, and most people don't know who I am. Some people who are really into politics perhaps might know who I am. But on a microscopic level, I have seen what happens. And I was on the left. I have seen what happens. When people say, well, Trump is he's such a divisive personality. Like, no, he's not. No, he's not divisive at all. He's not divisive at all. The man is somewhat in your face. He has a personality that's somewhat belligerent sometimes, but that's when you poke and prod at him. When you poke and prod at anyone, what Democrats have done to President Trump is that they have utilized the media in every possible manner to promote these myths. Okay, he didn't work with Russia. Trump never worked with Russia. Never worked with Russia. He never worked with Russia. He never worked with Russia. He never withheld military assistance. Even the president of Ukraine said he never withheld military assistance. And there are people obsessed with Trump on a microscopic level. Like, you will have maybe, like, there's probably 12 to 20 journalists or opinion or columnists that are obsessed with Trump, like obsessed with him. They will not stop. They will write the most apoplectic, or I mean, you'll have the Atlantic making up stories. I mean, there are probably CB3. Thank you, CB3. Thank you so very, very much. CB3 in Florida. Thank you so very, very much, CB3. Thank you. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Walter. Thank you so very much, Walter G. Thank you again. CB3. Thank you, CB3. Thank you. Like on a microscopic level, okay, I'm not comparing myself to the president. Nobody, thank God, nobody knows who I am. It's fantastic. It's great. Some people know who I am, but most don't, which is fine. I have about probably 3 or 4 people who obsess over me still to this day. I have 3 or 4 people who obsess over me. Do you understand? Do you understand? I haven't been 2016. From 2016 to today, there's still like about 3 or 4 quote unquote writers or journalists who obsess over me. And it's like people still on the left bring up my name and totally like twist what I've written about or what I've said or whatever. But it's like, if you fall out of a certain, like if you are on the left and you won't vote for the Democratic Party, you're basically a Trump supporter, which is fantastic because I'm a Trump supporter now. President Trump is the best president of my lifetime. Easily the best president. Reversing U.S. foreign policy is the most important thing we need to do as a country. I can debate that with anybody. And President Trump is doing that. But if you do not adhere to a specific vantage point, even if you are not a Republican or even if you're on the left, the left-leaning publications, liberal publications, will try to tear you down, demean you, disparage you, mock you, and silence you. And they tried to do that, and it didn't work. It didn't work because I don't care. I never had respect for them anyway. I never had respect for the same people that said, "Oh, it's okay. You know what? Get over it. If Bernie Sanders was cheated, get over it." I lost a great deal of respect for Bernie Sanders, even though, look, he's a good human being. But he gets stomped on, and I mean, he doesn't fight. President Trump fights. Like, I want to know what's wrong with taking a ride and waving at people. What is wrong with that? You want to know what's wrong with that? You want to know why they even oppose that? I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. Any positive emotion that Trump conveys, any positive emotion is viewed as like this abomination. REL, thank you. REL, thank you so very much for the kind words. Christian O'Brien! Christian O'Brien, thank you so very much. Christian O'Brien. REL, thank you for the kind words. I had one person on YouTube say the meanest things about me. Oh my God, he would say, gosh, the most hurtful things about me. I'm not going to even tell you. It's like this left-leaning channel. A young gentleman. And he did this thing where, oh my God, H.A. Goodman loses it. because he realizes he was wrong about the House. Well, I was right, though, genius, about the Senate, wasn't I? I hope you enjoy Amy Coney Barrett, who will protect the Second Amendment, and also very likely protect the First Amendment as well, with the way things are going, but who will not succumb to this very, very bizarre left-leaning, bizarre ideology. But I want the Second Amendment also is one of the most important things. I think it's the most. It's the First and Second Amendment are the two most important, in my view, of the Bill of Rights. But the second being actually, in many ways, in my view, the most important of the Bill of Rights. So I'm happy that we have 3 Supreme Court judges under Trump. But see, I'm not right about everything, but the direction, I'm usually on the right path. I'm usually on the right course or path, or I have the pulse of what's going on. And if there was such a blue wave, which I said there wouldn't be this profound blue wave, and I was right, they would have taken the Senate, and now we wouldn't have had Amy Coney Barrett. And I mean, they still wouldn't have gotten Trump impeached, but it would have been a lot closer. So this person obsessed over me, and it's like, well, at the end of the day, the Republicans increased their lead in the Senate, and that is a huge safety net politically. Enormous. That's more important than the House. Like, a lot more important. The House, they haven't passed the Medicare for All bill, so in a way that actually works. It actually proves everything I'm saying. The House hasn't passed the Medicare for All bill. Biden would oppose it. The House hasn't passed any Green New Deal legislation. Biden would oppose that legislation anyway. The House hasn't defunded police. Biden would oppose that anyway. The House hasn't abolished the Electoral College. Biden would oppose that anyway. The House hasn't decided to pack the courts. Biden would oppose that anyway. They play this game where they're like, we're going to give you what you want. Well, we're not going to give you what you want. We're going to give you what you want. Hey, I oppose that. I'm telling you, on November 3rd, I'm telling you it's going to be pandemonium in the most hilarious, awesome way. Because when they see that Trump ain't going anywhere, let's say it's close. And it'll be Clinton, it won't be Biden. But if they're so inept enough to go with Biden, it's close. You're going to see... Okay, President Trump has enthusiasm. They had like these flotillas for Trump. Biden couldn't even get floating seaweed, a floating bed of kelp, floating plywood. He couldn't. It'd be like floating plywood drifting plywood for Biden. Trump gets a flotilla. Biden couldn't even get drifting plywood. There's zero enthusiasm for this man. Plus, you have a lot of people who are like, I don't want to get the bubonic plague. So I'm just going to, and that's another thing they're not really thinking of. They have Sharon, how'd you know? They are so, and by the way, they're riding high. I read sometimes the comments on Twitter. Oh my God, they're riding high. Oh my God, do you understand? Every Biden up 14 points. Yeah, he deserves it. Trump. Oh, this is an interesting one. I got to read you this. I have to read you this. I'm going to read this on election night. This is one of the most hilarious things I've ever read in my life. Crescent! President Trump cares about the Americans and his supporters. Personally, I'm glad he is doing better. He's the best president of my lifetime. Crescent! He's the best president of my lifetime. Exactly. He's the best president of my lifetime also. But Crescent... Everybody here, Walter G., I have to read you this. Walter Crescent, everybody here, I have to read you this. This is hilarious. This is the level of delusion. Oh, this is a Trump world delighted in cruelty. Now Trump has the pandemic, demands empathy. I talked about this last night, I think, didn't I? They didn't revel in cruelty, okay? It's like you have you have different viewpoints, and any okay, see here. Hold on. Where is this? Oh my god. Oh, okay. Here. Hold on. This is great. Oh my god, I'm going to read this. When President Trump wins, because he'll win. They have zero enthusiasm. So I called in 2016. I called the election in 2015, and I have to read you this. I'm not going to tell you who it's from. It's from a Democratic strategist, whatever. I'll read this the way it's written. I wish Trump and Melania an expeditious recovery. I wish Trump and Melania an expeditious recovery and hope very much that they will be in good health as they face electoral humiliation. Okay, hold on. I wish Trump and Melania an expeditious recovery and hope very much that they will be in good health as they face electoral humiliation, repudiation, and the harsh judgment of the American people on Election Day. Trump's lying has become one of the most lethal events in our nation's history. Trump's cruel disregard for the American people has ravaged our economy, our education, and the fundamental elements of American way of life. There is no person in America, listen to this insanity, just after I've read the Politicar, there's no person in America who's done more to spread the pandemic than Trump. And no one has tried harder to catch it. What? What is this man talking about? Trump couldn't have been more personally reckless. If he went to Sturgis and licked the doorknobs on a porta potty. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then sentenced tens of thousands to cruelty and lonely demise. What is this? Who are these people? Like, they're going to have a good time on November 3rd, I'll tell you that. He has let loose a national insanity that manifests itself in the lunacy. And then it goes on. Delusional events where advice of public experts and MDs is ignored. So, what happened to this article where it's... So this is the mentality. Amid a pandemic so dangerous this week that the Surgeon General urged people to stay home, Wisconsin voters went to the Democratic Party polls. Really? Voters here on Tuesday in the Democratic primary braved the most grueling conditions, with some fearing that they were risking their lives to take part in one of the most dangerous elections the United States has seen. Is the person who blamed Trump for spreading the pandemic going to also blame Democrats in Wisconsin for spreading the pandemic? They waited in lines for nearly 2 hours. They endured rain and pummeling hailstorm. This is the apoplectic, hysterical ranting and raving. These are the people that thank God President Trump is dealing with these types of people, because Les Washington, thank you so very much, Les Washington. Les Washington, thank you. Stormcrow forever! The president essentially caught a very contagious bat. SF, thank you. SF, thank you. Then they're like, the people are like, Trump said it's a hoax. No, he didn't. Trump never said it was a hoax. Look at how They revel in the demise of others. When you revel in the demise of others, you yourself, your political party, I should say. Like, I saw this. This is a repeat of 2016, everybody. They are riding high, and at least in 2016, there was actually like a tiny bit of enthusiasm for the first female president, which is what they'll eventually do when they replace Botox B. My prediction still stands with Clinton replacing Biden. But if they're so inept they go with Biden, they're done. This man has never really won. He's been a senator for life, fine. Small state, great. The media doesn't cover him. The media does not cover this man. The bumbling and stumbling and loss of memory and losing track of what he was saying and meandering off into Never Never Land and really bizarre behavior, like being one fry short of a Happy Meal. No one covers Biden. He's literally not covered. House Music TV, hello. He was literally, they don't cover this man. So the same apoplectic reaction, at first they say Trump is a clown, but then they say everyone listens to him. Well, which one is it? So they say nobody listens to him, and they amplify everything they find outrageous. So you would think, he said, inject Drano. He said, use Lysol's Banaka. He said it. Do you find it outrageous? It's so outrageous. It's so dangerous. It's so outrageous. Why are you amplifying it? Oh, well, it's our job. No. They are deliberately creating this world where everything that happens is Trump's fault, and they're the ones who make their voters vote in during a pandemic with hail and a rainstorm, where this Politico article is literally saying people are risking their lives. But it's Trump who's the problem. And they still don't know exactly how Trump tested positive or how he acquired it, but they're assuming that they've been right all along. If they've been right all along, why is Crescent? Tim Pool, several Breitbart articles, Sticks, and UHA have all debunked the hoax nonsense. President Trump said the hoax was a Democratic response. Exactly. Thank you, Crescent. Exactly. Sam, hello. Sam Roth, hello. Exactly. They don't, okay, they're like, they're so happy too. They're like touching themselves in ecstasy. The con man and cheat paid $750 federal taxes and owes more than $400 million undisclosed later. How, based on what? This is hilarious. Delusional events where the advice of public health experts is ignored. The Politico article said that the Surgeon General of the United States of America told people to stay home, and the Democratic Party in Wisconsin didn't even postpone their primary. Why? Because they had to kick Bernie Sanders to the curb, and if it got people ill, that was okay. But Trump catches it, and nobody knows how, and oh my God, it's because of his events. We know this. How do you know this? Because we just do. Is it, do you know this? They're going, look, this is what they do also. They hype themselves up. Crescent, thank you so very much. They're gonna be so confident and expect to win that when they lose, it'll be like, oh my God, yet another. They cheated. We were on our way to winning. We're on our way to winning. Most of the states with the highest per capita rate are Democratic states. Democratic states per capita, right? 7 of the top 10. And then another statistic, the aggregate numbers of lives lost, 7 of the top 10. You can go in the New York Times and look at the different statistics, but Democrats don't do that. And then they say, he said it was a hoax. He didn't say it was a hoax. He never said it was a hoax, ever. He said the media reaction was a hoax. They're going to lose on November 3rd. They're going to have another 4 years. You're going to, you're telling you're going to have people break down. Like, people are going to have psychological breakdowns. And I'm not happy for those people. But the venom and the vitriol they've spewed, like, you gotta ask yourself, I mean, at a certain point, if you revel in the demise of others, like, this is also, if you obsess over what other people think, like, I don't care. You can have a statue of Madam Secretary and worship it, and I know people do. I don't care. You can vote Democrat. I don't care. You could vote Clinton in 2020. I don't care. You can despise Trump. I don't care. I don't care what another person does. It's the left and Democrats who call family members and friends. They're the ones who make the issue. They're the ones who divide the country. It's not the Trump supporters. They don't care what Democrats do. In fact, if Democrats disappeared tomorrow, they wouldn't care at all. I wouldn't care if the Democratic Party disappeared or continued. I don't really care what they do because they're so dysfunctional and unhealthy. I just thank God every day I'm no longer a part of that dysfunctional, unhealthy situation. But it's Democrats who wake up every night worrying about the notion that possibly somebody out there likes Trump. In the event, Democrats are not going to win this year, but in the event they win, okay, which is not going to happen, but it's like, in the event they win, I will have, and you will have, and everyone will have endless corruption to actually report on. Because, first of all, they're not going to win, but I'm just saying. And you're going to have, I can't even see a scenario where they win, so they're not going to win. But, I wouldn't devote my life to blaming another country. Let's say, for example, that Trump's emails show that he was cheating, or the Republican emails show that, whatever. Let's say there were Republican emails that show that Trump was preventing Mitt Romney from, I don't know, whatever. I wouldn't be like, you know what? It was Iceland. Why Iceland? They hacked the RNC. Iceland. And you know what? I wouldn't see, but the Democrats are like, Putin. And this is after they lost the election, cheated Bernie Sanders, elevated President Trump, and years after they failed to veto the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity, which Putin acquired. They're the ones who have the greatest ties to Russia. They're the ones. Average Joe Wright, hello. My point being, I wouldn't obsess the way they obsess. And it's this is just one example. They had 4 primaries. I want to know how many people fell ill when they're getting drenched in rain and pelted by hail. Okay, have you ever been to the DMV or you ever been in line for a long time? It's a pain in the rear end. I can't stand being in line. I can't stand being in line. Have you ever been in line for like 2 hours, 3 hours? It is a pain in the rear end. It's a pain in the rear end. Have you ever been in line in rain for 2 hours, getting pelted by hail? No, I haven't. But then again, I'm not a Democratic voter in 2020. I'll take Trump's rallies over being pelted by hail and drenched by rain during a pandemic, just so I can vote for a Democrat in the primary. And by the way, the most hilarious and sad and bizarre and pathetic thing about that is that they were pelted by hail and stuck in the rain during a pandemic to ensure that they wouldn't get Medicare for all, that they would not get Medicare for all, that they would not. They literally voted against Bernie Sanders. So, like, you have these people like, yeah, Medicare for all, Medicare for all. Well, Wisconsin voters were literally in the rain. They didn't want it. Gilbert Lozano! Thank you, H.A. You are a wise and intelligent voice of America. Thank you. You are a fighter who wants to underground. I support you and stand with you. Gilbert Lozano, thank you so very, very much, sir. Thank you. And that's a very, very, very kind words of you. And Gilbert, be here, please, Gilbert. Be here on November 3rd. Gilbert, thank you so very, very, very much. We're going to win. We are going to win. And it's going to be Latino and Hispanic voters that give President Trump the presidency. Also, Black and African American voters. The Democrats, I don't see how. First of all, in swing states, you've had the same polls they worship show that Trump is either tied or he's down a couple points, or now they're saying, well, he's down 5 or 6 points. Well, they were saying that also at the end of October in 2016. The swing state polls are horrendous. Horrendous. They focus on national polls. It's like, well, if you have a poll where New York and California are taken into account, you could just toss that poll aside. You could toss that poll. Do you understand, people? There are the most apoplectic people on the coasts. You can't, like, I'm talking about pertaining to politics. You cannot even reason. There's no reason. They'll just believe anything. Gilbert, thank you so very much. Sora, thank you. Mr. Big! I think it's the latter. Mr. Big, H.A., your best educated guess, does Trump win in a landslide, or is it more like 2016? He loses the popular vote but still wins. I think he'll lose the popular vote because California will not allow that. On the night, he'll get that popular vote for like an hour. Mr. Big, he'll get the popular vote. Like in 2016, he got the popular vote for like an hour, 2 hours. When it was all said and done, when it was all she wrote. That's all that counts. The Electoral College is there to make sure that you don't have a media or you don't have like you don't have a media that's beholden to a political party, that a press beholden to a political party, or simply this popular figure that with popularity wins over a country. You have 50 states, or you have the Electoral College is there because we have a republic and a constitution. We don't have the Democrats themselves. This is kind of hilarious. The Democrats themselves don't have a The Democrats themselves don't have a popular vote. So why should we have a popular vote? If it was a popular vote, Bernie Sanders would have won in 2016 and 2020. So he almost won the popular vote in 2016, and that was with media that tried to, in the Democratic primary. Mr. Big, thank you. He'll win the Electoral College, he'll lose it. See, the popular vote is meaningless. It's a reflection of media. You'll never have another Republican win the popular vote. It will not happen. Mitt Romney isn't going to win the popular vote anytime soon. Hi, everyone. Check out my coiffed hair. I hope that you don't believe I put my dog on top of my car for 14 hours. I wouldn't do that. That is a communist plot against me. As you can see, I'm a good Republican. I'm going to win the popular vote. Because I'm a good Republican. You're never going to have another Republican win the popular vote. That will not happen. If he did this, if we found out that a Republican candidate put the dog on top of the car, it would be the end of the world. They already have this hilarious attack ad on Trump. Every president has had a dog. Truman has had, what was it here, the dogs of the president here. This is hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious. So, this is really funny. First of all, the president owning a dog is like completely like Grover Cleveland had Gallagher. Warren Harding had Laddie Boy. Calvin Coolidge had Rob Roy. Herbert Hoover had King Tut. Oh, that wouldn't fly today, I'll tell you that. FDR had Major. FDR also had Falla. Harry Truman had Feller. Even JFK had a dog from Nikita Khrushchev named Pushinka. JFK had also 8 dogs, and one named Clipper. Lyndon Johnson, oh, this is hilarious, had 2 beagles named him and her, which that's probably the worst names for any animals. Hey, him, her. One of his beagles was named Kimberly. And what does Trump have? He has Satan. Lucy was another one, and Freckles was another one. This is LBJ, who got us into Vietnam. Oh, what a good person. Richard Nixon's 3 Irish setters were King Timahoe and a poodle named Vicky and a terrier named Pasha. Trump has nothing. Trump. Gerald Ford had Liberty. Liberty had 9 puppies. Jimmy Carter had a collie mix named Grits. What a good president Jimmy Carter was. Gave the Republicans 12 years of dominance. Fantastic president. Ronald Reagan, the Gipper, had Bouvier, de Flanders, and Lucky, and Rex. George H.W. Bush had Millie and Ranger. Oh, Bill Clinton had Buddy. I love you, Buddy. A funny thing, Buddy looks at me really weird when he enters the Oval Office. George W. Bush What a good man with his endless, horrific, atrocious, nefarious wars. He had a Spot, and Millie. Spot was one of Millie's puppies. Millie. Oh, I forgot which one. Bush also had Barney and Miss Beasley. Miss Beasley. Miss Beasley. President Obama had Sonny. And so it's like, but Trump doesn't have a dog. He bucked the tradition. Could you imagine what they would do if he had a dog? Trump mistreats his animal. We interviewed the dog and he hates the president. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? I love reading the comments here. Could you imagine if he had a dog? Robert Justice, exactly. Next thing you'll see, Trump saved himself by sacrificing 100 Dalmatians to create a career. That's the next Disney movie. 101 sacrificed Dalmatians for Trump. Oh my God. Robert Justice, hello. Walter G, thank you, Walter. Thank you again. Oh my God. Everybody had a dog except Trump. In fact, he had a dog. What happened? What happened to Trump's animals? He sold them to the Kremlin. Isn't it funny how Trump had a presidential dog, then he met with Putin, and then Putin was seen eating a steak? I don't know I don't know if I want to put two and two together. Anything that happens, do you understand? Anything. Trump has a pet lion. Trump has a pet alligator. And even the alligator can't stand him. Bleh. Angela Goodwin. Absolutely, Hillary would have a Leica. She was the first female in space. As it goes, this week, Sheikh Lulav, Madina Simcha. Thank you so very, very much. Chag Sameach, Angela. Thank you. Chag Sameach to you, Angela. Thank you. Chag Sameach, Angela. Thank you so very, very much. Yeah, it's just unbelievable how they're going, like, you need enthusiasm to win an election, even a class election like in high school. Like, you have to have people who are enthusiastic about you. You can't just win if you have a certain group of people in high school that like you, and then you're not popular enough. Meaning, you could be popular, but if you don't have passion or enthusiasm, okay, Biden has not accomplished anything in his life where people would say, I really want to listen to this man speak. I love listening to Trump speak. I do. I love listening to Trump speak. I think he's fantastic. He's not like this eloquent speaker. I mean, he has his own style. He's eloquent in that he has his own style. Biden doesn't even have his own stuff. And then he gets upset with you. You're the problem if you don't know what the heck he's talking about. You're the problem. It's a pandemic. Has 180 years. You know, okay? You know. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Lionel the Grand Prix. He should get the meanest junkyard dog to chase the media off the ground. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Lionel the Grand Prix, hello. Lionel, everyone here. I mean, what is Biden's like? What's Biden known for? Come on, man. A no malarkey, man. Come on, man. When they, first of all, they're not. I can't possibly be going with Biden. Hillary's gonna, one of these days, I don't know when, it'll be the switcheroo of the century. But like, they can't possibly go. They can't possibly go with a person who has zero charisma, like zero. Biden has negative charisma. Actually, your personality is altered. You are less interesting the more you listen to Biden. He actually removes any charisma from you, and actually doesn't acquire it. It just goes out into the ether, and that's how paint watches him dry. This man has zero charisma. And everything he says is scripted. So I don't understand what they think. Like, they're going to be like, oh my God, again, Putin. He really doesn't. Putin really doesn't like Democrats. If he's like, they won't be able to. And they really think that they're, oh my God, that they're like totally on the inside track to winning. They're like completely on the inside track to winning. I'm telling you also, ladies and gentlemen, this is not like, okay, in the next month, you're going to see so many twists and turns. You are going to see so many twists and turns that like we are not done yet. We are not done yet. People think that, oh, we're on the home stretch and everything. You know what? It's like, yeah, we're not done yet. Gilbert Lozano, hello, thank you. Crescent. Okay, hold on one second. Crescent. Gilbert. Angela. Okay, hold on. Crescent. Oh, Pierre Delecto is Mitt's second name. That's right. Pierre Delecto. I'm on Twitter, but I'm using an alias named Pierre. Even his alias is an interesting, like, Pierre's a great name, but Pierre Delecto, Delectable Delecto. They are, like, it's kind of funny too, like, also, like, I love when they're like, Intel releases Russian disinfo on Madam Secretary, but when it's Trump, it's like, this is unverified, but we have to print it anyway. Oh, gee, thanks. Thanks for the fantastic ethics there. They are, think 538, I have it here, has Trump with only a 19% chance of winning. Check this out. This is really hilarious. No, 28%. No, but check this out. Hold on one second. In 2016, they had Clinton winning the popular vote but losing the electoral vote as a 10.5% chance. So the 90% chance. They were about 90% against that happening. This is hilarious. And then they're like, this is really hilarious. Like, Democrats are like, well, everyone's getting, feeling ill. I guess we can't vote for Amy Coney Barrett. I guess we're gonna have to. I was like, no, you don't even make the rules. It's McConnell who makes the rules. You don't even have to show up. Oh, you don't want to show up. What's the matter? Internet connection is not working. You haven't paid the internet bill. You haven't paid the cable company. Oh, let me see if I can give you some money, Nancy. You only have about $500 million. You can't have a Zoom meeting because we're voting. We're voting, Nancy. You snooze, you lose. The notorious ACB. New York May, Chag Sameach, thank you. Everybody spark up your internet. And I'm not talking to you, Bill Clinton. We know what kind of internet you watch. All in favor of Trump's third Supreme Court nominee. Press #3 on your keyboard. I'm sorry, Nancy. What was that? I can't hear you. This is a tube. This is a tube. HA has his 1985 Steve Winwood jacket on it. Complete with shoulder pads. How'd you know? Crescent! But I tested for being tested negative for having a brain. That is so funny. Nancy. Nancy. What do you mean you can't make the Zoom meeting? Nancy, we're having a Zoom meeting. Are you going to be in the Zoom meeting or not? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. And to my super chat, thank you so very much. People, I'll be here tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. To my super chat, thank you. If you want to subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel, please subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel, but if you want to, ladies and gentlemen, to be part of a newsletter, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you so much. And people, God bless. I will talk to you. I'll see you tomorrow. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. And it's heating up, everyone. It is heating up. I'm still thinking of a time to do 2 live streams, so one in the afternoon and one at 9. So I'm thinking of a time, but I'll get to exactly the time that I'm gonna think of. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you. See you tomorrow, everyone. God bless. Eric, Luke, thank you. Walter, thank you. Everyone, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Thank you so much. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Illuminati, thank you. Schumer is using... Exactly. Exactly. Illuminati, thank you so very, very, very much. Everyone here, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.